God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Soccer Bowl 84. For the first time, the North American Soccer League has gone to a best 2 games out of 3 format. And before we get in any further into the telecast, Kenny and I would like to welcome all the soccer fans and sports fans throughout the great country of Canada viewing this game on the sports network TSN. Hope you're all going to enjoy it. Game coming to you on Sports Vision and TSN tonight. And Kenny, it's a cool night for the spectators, but I think the players should enjoy it.
Yes, it's a great night for the soccer players to run. They can just keep running. I'm sure the Toronto Blizzard very much used to the cool weather, as the Chicago Sting is well acclimating himself to this time of the season. The goalkeeper right there for Toronto, Paul Hammond, the top goalkeeper and the number 2 All-Star in the North American Soccer League, 1.16 goals against average. Very fine veteran goalkeeper. Victor Nogueira in the nets for the Sting. Victor so spectacular in games 1 and 2 against Vancouver. Went into a little bit of a mental slump in game 3, but strong enough at the end there. For Toronto in goal, as I mentioned, Paul Hammond. The defense, Colin Miller, starting only his 6th game this season as a member of the Blizzard. Connie Carlson, Derek Spalding, Bruce Wilson. And there's a look at the Sting lineup. Victor Nogueira, Mark Simonton, Victor Cadelia, Hayden Knight, Dave Houston, Rudy Glenn, Manny Rojas, Jerry Gray, Sanino, Karl-Heinz Granitza, and Pato Marhetic up front for Chicago. The officials tonight, David Sosha, and the linesman Ulrich Strom, and John Pozaditis.
They play 2 45-minute running time halves. The field here at Comiskey Park, which is, of course, the baseball field home of the Chicago White Sox, laid out from the left field line down to the right field wall. They take up some of the infield, but stopping short of the infield dirt. So the infield dirt between second and first base is in use, but we haven't had rain here in Chicago for a few days, and the dirt is quite firm. The Sting on the attack, knocked away momentarily by David Burton. The ball goes out. Let's see how they call it. It's going to be a throw-in for the Toronto Blizzard. The Sting in their traditional black jerseys, yellow shorts and hose, white numeral and trim. The visiting Toronto Blizzard red uniforms, white and blue numerals and trim. Cliff Calvert pushed it over. It's intercepted by Jerry Gray. To Rojas, to Glenn, and the Sting starts moving upfield from your screen right to left. The referee, David Sosha, one of the few referees in the NASL with a lot of international experience. He has refereed Olympics. He's refereed World Cup soccer. Not one of the big favorites here in Chicago, but nevertheless, qualified referee. And now Mark Simonton on the attack, pushes it over to Cedinho. And the triple team, there's the cross. Granitza tries to go for the header to Simonton, knocked away by Toronto. The goalkeeper, Hammond, with a .050 goals against in the playoffs. Victor Nogueira with 1.16 goals against in the playoffs.
There you saw the first offside of the game as the Toronto defense pulled out, leaving Chicago's Karl-Heinz Granitza in an offside position. Toronto pulls out quicker, creating those offsides than any other team.
Nesselenke, dangerous position, a shot saved by Nogueira. Nesselenke snuck past little Davey Houston, got a good shot away. Nogueira right in.
Very nice attack on the part of Toronto right there, as Davey was not beaten badly, but the ball hit very hard over Davey. Tremendous skill there on the part of Ace as he was able to pull the ball down and hit the shot. Nogueira stayed calm.
And now Marhetic to Manny Rojas. Rojas back to Pato. Colin Miller on Marhetic. And the ball cleared out of there by Calvert. It's going to be a throw-in for the Sting deep in the Toronto Blizzard zone on the near side. Manny Rojas will throw it in.
Toronto, of course, very strong defensively. They only allowed 33 goals during the regular season. That was far and away the best in the North American Soccer League.
Gunitsa attempting to cross, had the ball knocked away by Miller. It's going to be the first corner kick of the game. Ball last touched by the defensive team, offensive team with a corner kick. Gunitsa will take it with that left foot. That ball will probably bend away from the goal. Let's see if somebody comes running right up the slot trying to head it in. Cross is in the air. It's coming back to Cedinho. Got away from Spaulding. Cedinho now is bumped off the ball. And here come the Blizzard on the attack. They're looking for Bettiga. Instead, they get Nezelenke again, but the ball skips by him. And it's going to be a Sting throw-in.
That was a fine play there by David Burnlow, who came back defensively to strip the ball away from Cedinho. Made a nice 60-yard run coming forward and then put the ball out nicely for Neselinge. Neselinge misjudging the bounce.
Now Victor Cadelia, he played with Toronto last year. Did not suit up for the soccer ball. Apparently some problems with the coach Bob Houghton. Jerry Gray fighting for the loose ball, taken by Bettiga. Roberto Bettiga, the Italian international, comes to Cliff Calvert, picked up by Hayden Knight. Crossing again. They've got a man Byrne on the far side of the box. His cross, and it slides behind Bettiga. Knight's going for it. He collides with Calvert, and the ball goes out. Throw in Toronto. Wait 3.5 minutes. Knight intercepts the throw in. To Rojas. Rojas in trouble immediately. Back to Knight. Jerry Gray back to Hayden Knight. Sting trying to work it up slowly from the back, and now Rojas.
Hayden, not one of the more adept players passing the ball on this Chicago club, but nonetheless, his teammates kept pushing the ball over to him.
Symington came back to the box to get the ball. However, Noguera chooses to put it in the air. And with the wind at his back, pushes it up into the attack zone. Bruce Wilson heads it right back to the midfield. Knight out of bounds on the far side. It'll be a Blizzard throw-in. And Wilson, the experienced veteran, first-string all-star NASL player, will put it in. Bruce played for, started his career with Vancouver, played with the Sting, played with the Cosmos. Down to home now in Toronto. Glenn gets it up to Gunitsa. Gunitsa is hit hard by Derek Spaulding at the midfield stripe. And down goes Karl-Heinz. First foul of the game is going to go against Spaulding. Gunitsa is hurt. He's holding that right ankle.
Chance to look at the replay. Gunitsa shielding the ball, pushing it away, and then Spaulding knocking Gunitsa hard to the ground right there. Spaulding wanting to assert himself here at the beginning of this match.
Spaulding played several years with the Chicago Sting, was a member, in fact, co-captain of the Sting team that won the soccer ball. That 1-0 shootout thrower up in Toronto back in 1981.
That's not a good sign there for Chicago. Karl-Heinz Gunitsa with the shoe off. String trainer Jerry Carter examining Carl's foot.
Coach Willie Roy, very, very nervous, standing on the near sidelines, looking out.
Another chance if we can see whether Gunitsa was able to get the foot out of the ground or not. Right here, he's shielding the ball, and he's knocking away. Look at the right foot right there. That is the one that got hurt. You can see at this point, Carl already feeling the pain. Sting trainer Jerry Carter spraying that Freezem spraying out there, trying to take the pain away and make the foot somewhat numb. The danger there is you make it too numb. Carl isn't going to have any feeling in the foot.
At this point, the members of the Chicago Sting bench, Elvis Carmery, Bob Meschbach, and Franz Matthew, still on the bench. Willie Roy has not yet given the signal for anybody to warm up.
Quite certain if Gunitsa has to come out of this game that they'll play with 10 men and see whether or not he'll be able to come back in. Another look at the foul there. And you can see right there, Spaulding, after he knocked the ball away, he brought the foot up high.
The Chicago Sting can never afford to lose Gunitsa. He is the leading scorer in the playoffs thus far with 3 goals and 3 assists. He's got 9 points. Number 2 scorer, Pato Marhetic, with 3 goals and 1 assist. And they are still working on Gunitsa. The second game of this series will be played Wednesday night in Toronto at Varsity Stadium. And that will be at 7 o'clock Central Time. Sting coach Willie Roy, and you can see just how concerned he is. You can see him saying unbelievable.
And then he goes to play the legs. He didn't play the ball. He went in front.
And again, that game will be on Sports Vision from Toronto as well as on the Sports Network TSN. Starting time 7 o'clock.
Willie Roy explaining right there to the linesman that, in his opinion, the Toronto defender, Spalding, was not playing the ball and was playing the man. But it appears Granitza will have to come out of this game, at least temporarily.
In pain and limping as he comes off the field. And Kenny, you're quite right. Chicago making no effort to warm up a substitute, so they're going to try to go with 10 men and try to get Carl back into the game. The broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Vision by the Chicago Sting, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of the program without the consent of Sports Vision is prohibited.
I truly believe they should get a man warming up, and now Elvis Comrie's standing up. Even if Granitza comes out of this game and Chicago plays shorthanded for a few minutes, the player on the bench certainly needs ample time to get himself warmed up and loosened up. However, this injury occurring in the first 5 minutes, I'm sure Comrie's still fairly loose from the pregame warm-ups.
The very game Karl-Heinz Granitza trying to put pressure on the leg, put weight on the leg, is having a lot of trouble.
Right here, the referee should have Chicago pull Granitza off the field so that the game can resume.
The clock was stopped with 40 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the first half. There's been no score. One shot in the game. Ace Neselenkwe, a 16-yarder, stopped by Victor Noguera. And now Sosha is telling the Chicago Sting, just as Kenny had mentioned, that Granitza must leave the field. The Sting will play shorthanded now, trying to get Granitza back in the ball game. Wait a minute. Now Carl has turned around. He's going to try to stay in without coming out at all. I don't know if that's really a wise decision on Carl's part. So the Sting will have a free kick from the midfield with Granitza taking himself out of the play, really, just trotting up and down the near sideline. And it comes to Gray. Gray goes to Marhetic. Marhetic picked up by Calvert. Back to Jerry Gray. To Pato. Pato to Rojas behind him. Rojas, a nice trap. By Neselenkwe to Huson. Tried to go to Granitza, kicked away. Symington heads it forward to Rojas. Ball pushed away and taken back by Bruce Wilson. So it's Toronto's ball as Granitza continues to trot up and down, trying to get that leg working
now
out.
He's running towards the bench.
He's coming to the Sting sidelines. I don't think it's going to work. Ball is delivered high into the air to the top of the box. Symington puts it back to the midfield. Sanino can't get there, but Davey Huson does. Here comes Davey. In the attack zone to Pato Marhetic. The Sting playing with 10 against 11 now as Granitza's on the sideline. Jerry Gray picked up by Carlson. He goes forward. Symington scissor kick. And Cullen Miller heads it over the end line. Sting will pick up a corner kick on this one.
It was really an excellent run by Symington coming out of the back. He saw some space opening up as Rojas took the Toronto defender with him. Chicago benefits with the corner kick.
Pato Marhetic, there's the cross in the air. Symington, he's knocked away from the ball and it's cleared upfield. David Byrne is there. Cadelia takes it away. Victor Cadelia to Sanino. And it was Bettiga, Roberto Bettiga, coming all the way back to boot that ball out of bounds. Throw-in goes to Symington, run off the ball, and Spalding drives it back. Wilson puts it up to the 35-yard line. Intercepted by Chicago. And here comes Sanino. Up on the far side to Symington. Tries to cross. Knocked away. Symington gets it back. Crosses again. And it's grabbed by Paul Hammond.
Hammond going up, pulling it down with relative ease. When you're a man short and you're missing your center forward, you're not going to see a lot of challenging at the goalkeeper.
All right, Hammond into the ball. Both goalkeepers wearing gray and black. Cadelia pops it up in the air. Rudy Glenn will try to clear it. Push it off to the near side. Jerry Gray on the run. Byrne is on him. And Gray clears it back. It's intercepted momentarily by Calvert. Goes to Randy Reagan. Reagan's got a pretty hard shot. He can't get through the Sting defense. And now Jerry Gray on the run. Looks for Sanino. A drive up the far side. Sanino gets it on the fly. Here he comes. One-on-one with Wilson. And it bounces off of Wilson's knee over the sideline. But they are saying it was
came off of Sanino. That's really an outstanding pass there by Jerry Gray, coming out of the back and putting the ball on Sanino's foot. This is Karl-Heinz Granitza on the bench here. And you see Sting trainer Jerry Carter massaging Granitza's calf right there, trying to get some feeling back into that foot.
Free kick by Hammond. Knocked away by Houston. Tried to go to Cedinho. Too far. Bruce Wilson will run it down. He looks for his goalkeeper. Cedinho cuts him off. Now Wilson gets a little bit of room. Taps it to Paul Hammond. Toronto has an inch edge in the goal. Hammond at 6'1". Victor Nogueira for the Sting at 6 foot. 36:56 to go in the first half. Sting playing with only 10 men out there. Granitza trying to get himself back in the game. Symington drives it forward, but it's taken right back by Connie Carlson.
Karl-Heinz has re-entered the ball game. Chicago once again playing with 11 men.
Gedalia to Gray. Gray clears the top of the box. Symington comes and pushes it up, but it's intercepted by Reagan. And now to Luca, Pascale de Luca. He drives it over the bar. Good shot, hard one.
Very well taken shot. You can see, although that ball missed the goal by a few feet, that ball started dipping and had Victor Nogueira a little bit concerned as Victor chased it all the way to the far post just to make sure.
The game Wednesday night, as we mentioned, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. They're on Sports Vision and the Sports Network. Sosha calling a foul against Toronto in the circle. Free kick Chicago with just over 36 minutes to go in the half. Granitza's taken his accustomed role, posted as the striker, top of the box. Rojas goes to Granitza, is run off the ball by Spalding. Gray fights for it, ends up with Rojas. He tried to go to Marhek, intercepted by Calvert.
Spalding came out after winning it the first time.
And it was all now on his part. Temper's starting to flash here, and Glenn is getting... Looks like Glenn is getting a yellow card.
No, I can't imagine he's going to get anything but a verbal caution here.
I would think so.
The referee has to stay consistent. That's David Byrne, the injured player for Toronto. And you could say that may be somewhat of a retaliation. If you kick our center forward, we're going to kick your center forward. David Byrne playing with a broken jaw that he suffered near the end of the season. A very courageous effort on his part to be playing here in the playoffs. Another look, you're going to see number 19 for Toronto, number 8 for Chicago. And Rudy Glenn sliding at the ball, but obviously Byrne had it shielded very, very well. No question of the foul.
Byrne appears to be okay.
You can see from the angle right there that Byrne got his left leg caught under Rudy Glenn, but we didn't see the foot turn at all, so I'm sure Byrne is okay.
Carlson drives it forward, top of the box. Glenn heads it to the near side. Jerry Gray keeps it in. Picked up by Calvert. Marhetic back to Gray. Gray goes to Granitza. Granitza's pushed down from behind. Referee said it was a dive. Play on. Granitza's furious. Meanwhile, Gray fighting hard out there. The ball goes out. The last touch by the Sting. Cliff Calvert with the throw-in. You can hear Willie Roy yelling, pick him up, pick him up. Time shows 35:15 to go in the half. The throw-in to David Byrne. Pushed it out to Reagan. Reagan's left footer and stopped by Nogueira. That one almost came through a screen. Nogueira dove to knock it over this the end line.
Well taken left-footed shot, hit hard and low to the far post, and Nogueira did well reacting. Obviously Nogueira was screened right there as well. He did really well there getting over it. That ball probably would have carried him off the post.
And now Ace Nesselenge. Glenn kicks it out of danger. Colin Miller back for Toronto into the midfield to Wilson. Back to the stopper, Carlson. Houston intercepts the pass to Marhetic, goes too far in front. Pato gets it back to Rojas. Give and go to Pato. Pato's coming. He's got Cedinho on the near side. Cedinho was just on the near side of the box. The ball stolen away. Good defensive play, however, by Cliff Calvert.
Cedinho tried to take that ball on stride and just overran it.
Loose ball. Cedinho and Houston both fight for it. Taken back by Reagan. Reagan to Calvert on the near side, or Byrne on the near side, can't control. Sting throw-in. They go to Granitza. Granitza fighting for it. He's got Carlson on him. There's a cross. Ball's pushed up in the air. Gray tries to volley it. Doesn't work out. Here's Byrne.
Karl-Heinz Granitza outside of the last defender on that last throw-in in an offside position, but there is no offside on a throw-in. Unfortunately, none of his teammates could catch up with him.
Here comes Benega. He's 1-on-1 with Gedalia. Now the Sting defense comes in. They go off on the far side. Benega once again taking the pass from Nesselenge. Picked up by Hayden Knight. Nice move by Benega, but Knight takes the ball away. Upfield he comes. Got Cedinho. Cedinho looks like he had a nice short haircut. He's into the attack zone with Granitza and Marhetic. Karl-Heinz Granitza with the left foot. Granitza hit the crossbar. Best scoring chance of the game thus far.
perhaps the biggest break for Toronto is that he struck the crossbar so hard. And now at the near side here, the linesman has his flag up signaling offside. The referee had a difficult time spotting it. Perhaps the best break for Toronto as we see it is Sonino in perfect position to knock in the rebound off of Granitsa's shot right here, but the ball just shoots past him too quickly.
Boy, it hit like a rocket.
That ball hit the corner right there, in between, I should say, the part where the crossbar and the post join.
And as Rudy Glenn puts it
away.
in play, it's an offside call coming up against the Chicago Sting. Once an attacking player is over the midfield, if the ball is passed to him, he must have two defenders between himself and the goal. Otherwise, he's considered offsides. One of those defenders, of course, usually the goalkeeper. Wilson left foots it upfield to Bettiga. Pops it high in the air. He's got a man in the box. And pushed away. Byrne is there. Byrne saves it. But Symington stops it on the far side. Boy, that was dangerous. Come upfield again looking for Granitsa. It's intercepted by Derek Spalding. Knocked away by Rojas. Granitsa to Marhetic. Too far for Pato. But Granitsa starting to function again, and that's a break for Chicago. Less than 32 minutes to go in the half. No score. Colin Miller on the near side. Glenn pushed it up over Rojas' head. Reagan's pass intercepted by Rudy Glenn. Leaves it for Manny Rojas. Marhetic trying to get open, takes it. Back to Huson. Back to Pato. Pato now 1-on-1 with Calvert. They go to Rojas, posted high to Granitsa. Lays it out, Davey Huson. Knocked away. To Sonino. Wilson's on him. Back to Davey, but not enough, and DeLuca clears it back upfield. Roberto Bettiga trying to get position on Hayden Knight. And we have a foul on Knight. Crowd not happy with the call.
There will be some interesting matchups to watch through the series. One is right there where Hayden Knight will have to go against one of the great international veterans to play the game today, Roberto Bettiga. Another one will be Rudy Glenn against David Byrne. And Byrne probably, along with Ron Futcher, one of the two most physical forwards in the North American Soccer League.
Gedalia knocks the ball to the end line. It's over the end line. It'll be a corner kick, Toronto. Bettiga had a good year for the Toronto Blizzard. His best year since joining the club. He picked up 23 points, including 8 goals.
Actually, 29 points, 8 goals, and more importantly for his club are those big 13 assists.
They bring it to Wilson. He can cross very well. There it is. Oh, knocked away nicely by Granitsa. Taken by Manny Rojas. He looks for Marhetic. Brings it to Pato. Gray calling for the ball in the circle. Goes for it. Knocked away from him. Bettiga gets it. Danger here. Roberto Bettiga. He can do magic with the ball. He has Byrne breaking. Byrne is inside. A shot saved. Nogueira. And the rebound, fortunately, hit Gedalia in the stomach. And now Huson juggling to try to keep control. Bettiga steals it. Knocked away by Knight. Huson pushed it toward Gray. Broken up by Toronto. Here comes David Byrne. Back to Wilson. Wilson inside again. Nogueira let it go through his arms. The Toronto Blizzard has scored an unbelievably freakish goal. As Nogueira went for that bouncing ball, it went right through his arms into the back of the net.
Terrible break there for Chicago to give up a goal this easily. Simple ball, and there you see it. The ball skipped a little bit lower than Victor Nogueira anticipated.
Right through his legs.
The important thing right here is that Victor Nogueira doesn't take himself mentally out of this game right now. Chicago's still going to need him. Here you see it again. Nogueira looking downfield. Actually, the ball took a little bit of a low bounce, but of course that is no excuse.
Hayden Knight for the Sting. So Chicago trails 1-0. A freak goal. He lays it out, but Rojas wasn't running, and that ball is going to go over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Toronto Blizzard. 1-0. The Blizzard leads it. And they played a little over 16 minutes of the first half. Well, Chicago came close on that ball by Granitsa to hit the crossbar, and then Toronto scored when you least expected. A bouncing ball went right through Nogueira's legs. And a
One sign of the Sting club all season long has been when one player makes a apparently costly mistake. His teammates have always been able to pick him up. In Game 2 in Vancouver, it was Manny Rojas who gave the ball away and allowed Vancouver to tie the game. His club picked him up In Game 3, it was an early goal for Vancouver. We have an offside called against Granitza, and Sting was able to come back there. Bruce Wilson, of all people, getting credit for the goal. The time 15:23. Wilson, the next Sting player, who could never score if he was trying to shoot. He was trying to pass that ball in, mishit the pass.
Just goes to show you can never relax. You can never lose your concentration. Nogueira, victimized by his own breakdown in concentration, thought he just had the ball, just pick it up very easily. Thank you. Right through his legs into the back of the net. All right, here's DeLuca. Goes over on the far side in his lengthway. He falls down. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in. Wilson getting the goal. First playoff goal. Cadelia with it now. One of the key things here is that the Chicago Sting, with only 2 days rest, would like to have gotten a couple of goals and not have to push so hard in the second half. But it looks now as if the Sting is going to have to find a reservoir of energy for that second half. Granitza kicked away. Husson's there.
There was a case right there where they allowed the advantage to Jerry Gray as he continuously was getting kicked there, and I really don't feel there was all that much of an advantage.
The Magic Man, Marhetic. Granitza fighting for it, and it's cleared out of there by Carlson. Taken back by Cadelia. Cadelia tries to go forward. They thought that they had pulled Sanino offside.
He looked offside from here. He was actually standing right underneath the linesman.
Now Granitza
come up.
Goes to Gray. Gray takes a shot. And this one on the first top, fielded by Paul Hammond. 1-0 Toronto, and a freak goal right through Nogueira's legs. An easy one-hopper. 26:23 to go. In the first series, Toronto fell behind just over 21 minutes into the game at San Diego on a goal by Brian Quinn, and from that time on, the Toronto defense has not been scored upon. With 19 minutes gone in this half, they have played close to 180 minutes without being scored upon here in the playoffs. Crossing over to the far side, in front, kicked away by Knight. Bruce Wilson coming again. To the ace, Neselenque chased by Husson. Back to Bruce, to ace Neselenque again. They're giving ground. And now ball chipped forward to Bettigan. Stolen away. And we have the foul call on Hayton. Crowd very upset, still shaken by that goal by Toronto. Less than 25.5 minutes to go in the first half. Remember, the Chicago Sting is going to be playing indoor soccer. The first game will be November 2nd in St. Louis. The first home game of a 24-game schedule at the Chicago Stadium will be November the 16th against Kansas City. They call it Chicago Sting West. There's the cross. Nogueira in the air, pushed it over the bar. Going to be a corner kick. Charlie Ficus will be back in town with Tim Twellman and Tasso Katsoukas, Gordon Hill, Clive Griffiths. They'll all be in. Call the Sting office tomorrow, 558-KICK, 558-KICK. Ticket information and get a schedule on Sting Indoor Soccer.
Bruce Wilson there, the man who scored the last goal off of an attempted pass right there, trying to clip the ball in front. Again, he mishits it and almost scores another freakish goal. Nogueira getting back into the net after coming off the line to anticipate the cross. Does well right there to pop it over the crossbar.
Ace Neselenque, he's got a goal and an assist in the playoffs. Stopped by Jerry Gray, goes to Marhetic on the run. Here comes Potter. Picked up by Colin Miller. DeLuca's on him too. Pushes it to Husson. Tonight, and goes through to Rojas. Rojas coming now. Crowd starts to cheer off to Sanino. 1-1 with Wilson. Sanino's cross grab. Looking for Granitza. Bent it a little too far. 1-0. Toronto leads it. 24 minutes to go in the first half. It's Soccer Bowl. Best 2 out of 3. Sting with a home field advantage after winning, getting the most points of any team in the league. Ball bounces up, hitting Bettigan on the arm. Sosha blows the whistle. But, as happened in Vancouver, the Sting is falling behind here in the first game at home. Problem was, there's Granitza. Lays it out to Husson. Knocked away. Husson goes down, and we're going to get a free kick for the Sting on the far side of the box.
Connie Carlson coming over. Husson tried to play it through his legs and run goalward. Carlson defended it very, very well, but then set up his own one-man roadblock to prevent Husson from getting anywhere. Carlson lays the shoulder into Little Davy.
Again, Jerry Carter cutting behind the Toronto net, going on the field as Husson down on the ground.
There was a case right there, though, where Carlson really anticipating the collision and setting himself up well defensively. And Davey trying to put the ball past him, never expecting to run into the shoulder.
Hammond, the leading goalkeeper in the North American Soccer League, and first-string All-Star. Jerry Carter helping Davey Hewson up at least to a sitting position. Chicago would have liked to have seen a penalty kick called right here, but I think the ruling by the referee is that the Toronto defender Carlson was obstructing Davey Hewson from going towards the ball. So it will be an indirect free kick just inside the penalty box. Granitza and Rojas over the ball. An indirect kick, of course, means it must touch somebody on either side before it can go in the net. Sinino and Marhetic right up the slot. Rudy Glenn playing a little bit off. Hayden Knight trying to get clear. There's the cross, and it is knocked over the end line. It is deflected over the end line. The linesman had his flag up, signaling an offside. As Toronto pulled everybody forward to meet Chicago. Kenny, the crowd is booing. They think they just didn't see the deflection, but right. I wonder maybe we'll be able to see later on exactly who was offside and whether he had any effect on the play. I think that should have been a corner kick. Let's see how they rule it. The referee Socha coming over to the ball, and it's going to be a goal kick. That they are. Well, they called the offside there. That's yes, they did. They absolutely did. People don't understand that. Here's a look on the replay, and you'll be able to see the ball deflected right there by the Toronto defender. Rudy Glenn putting himself in an offside position coming from the far side of the field. But certainly he had no effect on the play. That's a referee's decision, though. Mark Symington in the air, pushes it up, looking for Sinino. Loose ball. Granitza trying to get it over to Rojas, knocked away. Manny gets it back. And finally ends up with Randy Reagan of Toronto. He comes to Calvert. Calvert moving in on Jerry Gray. Crossing, and Knight pops it in the air and over the line. It'll be another corner kick as Toronto beginning to force the action downfield with the Sting still a little bit shaky, I think, after that goal that went right through Nogueira's leg. Pasquale De Luca will take the corner kick. 21.5 minutes to go in the half. There's the cross. In the air, Bettiga pops it up. Sinino for the Sting in the triple team, tries to work his way out. And here he comes. Nice footwork by Sinino. Jerry Gray making a move up the sideline, and Spalding knocks it out. Throw in Sting. Chicago would like to get this game equalized before the half comes to an end. And now Granitza, double teamed in the corner. Ball goes out, corner kick Chicago. That cheer you hear is kind of a derisive one aimed at the officials. Short corner to Marhetic. Pato in the box. He is tripped up, goes down. Referee says play on. And he made the call right there. It would have been a penalty kick for Chicago. But in the referee's mind there, Pato Marhetic took a dive. Hammond taking his time, puts it up in the air. The wind catches it a bit. Bounces Cadelia that pushes it forward. Jerry Gray tonight. Here's Mark Symington back to Cadelia. Looks for Marhetic, gets him on the near side. Picked up by Calvert. Pato Marhetic. Goes to Granitza. Back to Pato. Pato one touch to Gray. Gray has Miller to beat. Here comes Jerry Gray. Across off of Carlson over the end line. Corner kick Sting. Marhetic will take it. 20 minutes to go in the half. 1-0 Toronto, but the Sting is trying to fight back to get it tied up. Short corner to Gray. Back to Pato. To Granitza, posted high. Goes back to Pato. Pato is in the box, kicked away. Gray's shot is deflected and goes over the sideline. Calvert got a piece of that one. Throw in Chicago. Chicago coming very close there to penetrating that tough Toronto defense. Marhetic found Granitza. Granitza hit a back heel pass back to Marhetic. And the last defender was able to strip it away from Pato. And ball kicked away. Corner kick. Calvert knocked it over the end line. This time Andy Rojas will take it. Sting getting their big men up front. Rudy Glenn and Hayden Knight drifting down to join Granitza right outside the goal. No short corner this. Here comes Rojas. It's the cross headed away by Nesselenge. Rojas didn't get it high enough for the big men to work. Cadelia puts it back, but Rojas was caught offside.
There's a case where obviously Jerry Gray is not offside, yet the linesman's flag comes up.
It was Rojas caught off.
Well, there was perhaps a player on the opposite side of the field, but the one thing that was obvious is the player that received the ball, virtue of the pass, Jerry Gray was not in an offside position.
18:46 to go in the half. Toronto leads at 1-0. A goal by Wilson. He just put it in the box very casually, and as Victor Nogueira went for it, it slipped right through his fingers, through his legs, and in the back of the net. One of those things, a goalkeeper's nightmare. Victor will remember that one probably the rest of his life. There's a throw-in. More Cliff Calvert. Headed away by Byrne. Reagan gives it to Wilson. Wilson goes forward, knocked away, bounces off of Cadelia. A shot just misses wide as Nogueira slipped as he tried to change direction.
Nogueira reacting to the original shot, and then the second shot coming a little bit mishit. Victor's feet could not come untracked in the mud there.
17:58 to go in the half. 1-0 Toronto. This is a game that Sting wanted very, very badly. Because they're playing this one with 2 days rest, and then they're going to have to go into Toronto Wednesday night with 1 day's rest, and so they wanted to at least take this one. Right now, the Blizzard leads it. Marhetic to Davey Huson. Glad to see Davies running well. Off to Cedinho. 1-1 with Wilson again. There's the cross. Too far for Granitza. Grab by Paul Hammond.
Cedinho's cross is not coming anywhere where they're intended to go.
Rudy Glenn chasing it down. David Byrne on him. Glenn goes to Victor Nogueira. That cheer you hear again, a derisive cheer. A rather bitter cheer because Nogueira fielded the ball. And Victor drives it back into the attack zone over Granitza's head. Paul Hammond comes to get it. Wind at the back of the Chicago Sting.
I'm sure one gentleman that must know how Victor Nogueira feels in this situation is ex-Sting goalkeeper Phil Parks.
Yeah.
Won a very important playoff game in San Diego back in 1980. Saw a ball bounce up off the infield dirt and over his head as he went lazily out at it.
Rojas grips Petticoat the ball. Granitza's coming with Marhetic. Cedinho making a run up the far side as Marhetic takes it into the attack zone to Hayden Knight. Knight fires way too high up into the stands. The left field stands behind the goal. So, once again, goal kick time for the Toronto Blizzard. And we're down under the 16.5-minute mark. Halftime, aside from the highlights, we'll have a pre-taped interview with the chairman of the board of the Toronto Blizzard, Clive Toy. He'll be sticking around for that. Rojas.
Amazing right there how Rojas wins the head ball in the air, jumping up against a man that's perhaps 6-7 inches taller than him, and Randy Reagan.
Byrne on the far side, but it's taken away by Glenn.
Boy, that Byrne keeps running.
Here comes Toronto on the attack, but a foul called on David Byrne in the box, knocking Cadelia down out of sheer frustration. All right, Cedinho now. To Gray, he's picked up by Reagan. Comes to Granitza again. Carlson's on Granitza. It's his pass, intercepted. Wilson has it. Drives it upfield. David Byrne, slide tackle out of there by Rudy Glenn, but it'll be a throw-in for Toronto with less than 15.5 minutes to go in the first half. Blizzard leading 1-0. Goal by Wilson.
Not quite certain whether they're going to throw it in or whether the referee has perhaps awarded a free kick.
Could be, Kenny. That's the way it looks.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, though.
Nope, it's going to be a throw-in. Toronto content to let the time run down. They're very smart. They know how to play that clock. Simonson swipes it. Gives it to Nogueira. Out to Hayden Knight. Knight up to Marhetic. Calvert fronts Marhetic at the midfield stripe. Manny Rojas now to Jerry Gray. And Carlson runs it down. Ball knocked out. Let's see how they call it. It'll be Toronto's call.
They called a foul against Jerry Gray.
Kicking on the ankles of Carney Carlson. Meshbach and Comrie on the bench, and Franz Matthew has dressed again. Franz tried it after being injured in June. Franz tried it against San Diego, had a really tough time of it. Hasn't been dressed since, but he's dressed tonight. In the playoffs, Willie Roy had been dressing the backup goalkeeper, Bob Rigby. Chose to go with Franz tonight. Cadelia, challenged by Vedega, goes to Symington. Back to Cadelia. Tony Usan, 1-on-1 with Wilson. Usan gets around him. Wilson trips him up and comes still on his feet. To Cedinho. Off to Symington, making the run up the far side. He's on the dirt now, center field. He's crossing for Granitza, headed away. Taken back by Nezelenge to David Byrne. Knocked away by Husan. Cedinho. He's held, he's grabbed, everything under the sun. We have a foul call on Randy Reagan.
And perhaps we're going to see a yellow card with Reagan here, but it's only a verbal caution by the referee. Reagan intentionally grabbing Cedinho right there.
Marhetic holding, goes to Granitza, knocked away. Calvert brings it upfield to Byrne. Back he comes to Calvert. Dedelia intercepts for Rojas. 13 minutes on the clock. To Granitza. Spalding pushes Granitza. He gets it back to Rojas. Cedinho on the far side. Wilson's giving him some room. I don't know if they see him. Now, Final Marhetic. He sees Cedinho, but his cross is short. Headed away by DeLuca. Symington is there. Now, DeLuca falls. Here comes Cedinho. 1-on-1 with Wilson. Cedinho to the end line. Cedinho still trying to control. He's run off the ball, and Wilson clears it.
Cedinho's going to have to start passing the ball a little bit in those situations. Rojas came over to support him.
Tape delay of the Fighting Illini versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. Game time on Sports Vision, 6:30 tomorrow. Stay with Sports Vision for the best in Big Ten and Pac-10 football all season long.
Bruce Wilson, a very difficult defender to beat one-on-one. As Cedinho's finding out here in the first half.
Foul on Chicago. And now Calvert just decked Jerry Gray.
Willie Roy off the bench for Chicago.
The referee is going to consult with the near side linesman to see if he saw it.
I think what we're going to see is a little kick in the back of the left leg of Jerry Gray. No question of the foul there on Jerry's part. I wonder if the linesman perhaps had seen it. And there you see an intentional kick there by Calvert, very obviously trying to retaliate. Calvert being awarded with what a yellow card.
Connie Carlson is having words with Willie Roy and Mike Gribich. Carlson is threatening Roy and Gribich, and they are responding in kind. This thing's starting to get a little ugly here at Comiskey Park. 1-0 Toronto leads. Just under 12 minutes to go in the half. First yellow card of the game dished out to Cliff Calvert. Colin Miller chipping it forward. And Glenn puts Byrne down right at the top of the box. Byrne is staying down, trying to get Glenn a yellow card. I don't think that's going to happen, however.
Chicago having a few words with the referee, and there
it is. I guess I was wrong.
Well, no, you were right, Howard. The yellow card was not for the foul, but perhaps for dissent.
Byrne getting up. Glenn just went
maybe a chance to look at the foul and see what Rudy's upset about. And I know quite well what Rudy's argument is. Quite obviously, he pulling down Byrne, but Byrne was preventing Glenn from getting at the ball. Once that ball was served out of the back, Rudy was trying to get at it, and was Byrne backing into Rudy Glenn. Once the call was not made, though.
Direct free kick in a dangerous
Foul occurred
spot.
the other way.
Nezelenge and Bennick over the ball. Sting Wall must give the necessary 10 yards.
Toronto scored on a free kick goal from a similar position against Chicago earlier in the season when the ball was lifted straight up. On that occasion, Byrne came onto it and struck it.
Ace chipping it forward, and Byrne is offsides.
And right there is a case where the referee made the call and not the near side linesman, but Byrne was offside, as we were able to spot from here. And I'm not certain whether the referee made the call or perhaps called a dangerous play for Byrne pulling the foot up too high. Nonetheless, the near side linesman never did raise the flag.
Byrne is screaming at the near side linesman that Nogueira is coming too far with the ball. The yellow card to Calvert came at the 33:05 mark, followed by Rudy Glenn at 33:18. 11-11 left on the clock in the first half. 1-0 Toronto. Ball is too high. Granitza can't field it. Wilson kicks it back to the midfield. Glenn is there, puts it in the air for little Manny Rojas. Calvert wins it easily to the ace. Gray wins it back. Here comes Jerry Gray. He lays it for Cedinho, and they're calling Cedinho offside. Granitza very unhappy with the far side linesman, Ulrich Strom.
Case right there, very, very close. Sanino, perhaps in an offside position. Bruce Wilson chasing back because it appeared Sanino might have had a breakaway. Wilson might have held him on, but the linesman, of course, a very good view down there, and he did pick up the flag.
Wilson upfield, headed away. Glenn's going to try to run it down before it goes out. Saves it well. Now, good hustle by Glenn. Pettiga's on him. Comes upfield looking for Sanino. And kicked out of bounds by Wilson. The crowd is really into this game, Kenny. It's a very verbal crowd tonight, very vocal. Just over 10 minutes to go in the first half. 1-0. Blizzard leads it. Sanino. In the double team. Goes to Rojas. Rojas is dumped by Randy Reagan.
This will be perhaps a yellow card against Reagan. That's the second.
There it is. Yellow card, Randy Reagan.
The referee's had a word with Reagan, but that was an intentional foul there. Rojas simply just trying to play the ball away, and Reagan kicking through the back of the legs of Rojas.
These yellow cards that Toronto is picking up are their first of the playoffs. The Blizzard, a very physical team, did not get any yellow cards against San Diego. Gray chipping it forward. He's got Sanino 1-1. Jerry Gray. Arhetic, as the referee is knocked down. Goes to Gray. Now Sanino, back to Gray. He puts it forward. Hammond on the run will get there. Swings it out to Wilson with 9:23 to go in the half. 1-0 Toronto leads it. If this series ultimately goes 3 games, the third game will be played here at Comiskey Park on Sunday evening. Cliff Calvert coming. Calvert goes for the cross, and it is. McGarrett grabs it.
Very dangerous situation, though, as Byrne beat Rudy Glenn to the near post. All he has to do is get a foot on that one, and it's going to be in the back of the Chicago net.
And now Granitza. To Marhetic. Dusad. They pulled him offside. He gets back on. Here's Marhetic now. Can't keep it in. And it's going to be a throw-in. Ball goes to the Big Red, Toronto. Colin Miller with it. 35-11 the time of the throw-in, the yellow card to Reagan. Socha wants him to take it again. Time is ticking out. Less than 8.5 minutes to go in the half. Howard Balson with Kenny Stern, hoping you're enjoying the action on Sports Vision. Willie Roy, you can read in his face what he's thinking about. He is angry. Hope you viewers in Canada enjoying the action on the Sports Network. Again, they're very good at killing time. And
referee has stopped the clock perhaps 30 seconds ago, though, as he was telling one of the Sting players he is keeping the time.
Ball has been played in the air with the head about 5 times in a row. Crowd loves it. Here's Marhetic, triple teamed. Tries to go to Granitza, but just couldn't get a pass out of that traffic jam. Wilson, the goalkeeper, Hammond, as Sanino alertly pounces. 8:04 to go in the half. 1-0 Blizzard. First game of the Soccer Bowl series from Comiskey Park. Victor Gedalia for the state. To Rojas. Challenged by Reagan, but Reagan's got to be a little bit careful. He picked up a yellow card. Of course, there's no way he's going to get that second yellow card unless his violation is so flagrant and dangerous that it couldn't be avoided. Ball's chipped forward to Granitza, headed away by Spalding. Gray keeps it in play, but Miller is there. Granitza going for it, and just barely misses connecting with it.
There was a case there where Miller's inexperience almost got his club into trouble, but his recovering ability able to knock the ball out of danger.
Pettiga and Knight battling for position. Goes to David Byrne. Son intercepts. And he comes to Jerry Gray. To Marhetic again. Marhetic 1-1 against Colin Miller. To Granitza. Goes to Rojas. Knocked away by Wilson. Rudy Glenn is there. Huson. To Rojas. To Huson. Crisscross with Gray. Gray's coming through. Granitza. Oh, the ball bounced away. Carl couldn't settle that one. Symington and David Byrne in a duel. Byrne goes down, foul Symington.
One of the real bright spots for the Chicago Sting in the first half has been midfielder Jerry Gray. Gray, a lot of hard work, winning a lot of balls out of the midfield, and his passing has been excellent.
6:23 to go in the half. 1-0 Toronto. We still have about 45 minutes of soccer action coming your way in the second half. The cross toward Nasalengwe, past him. Glenn's trying to run it down. DeLuca has it, knocks it over the end line. It's going to be a goal kick for Chicago. Glenn now to Victor Noguera. Less than 6 to go in the half. Towards Cedinho. Wilson heads it away. Kick right back in by Glenn. Cedinho on the run. He'll never get there. That ball hits the turn out in center field and just rockets out. Throw in for Spalding deep in his own territory. Now Derek drops it. He lets it go for DeLuca. Bettiga loses it as he slips and falls. Cordelia gets it. Symington challenged by Bettiga. Comes to Knight. Knight in the double team. And he loses it. Here's Bettiga. To Ace Nasalenge. Cliff Calvert 1-on-1 with Gray. Back to Bettiga. Tucson gets a foot in there. Marhetic gets it. Back to Cedinho. Here comes Cedinho with Marhetic on the near side. Rojas on the far side. Cedinho to Granitza. Granitza looks for a little bit of room, and his pass to Marhetic is broken up by Connie Carlson.
That one might have worked if Carlson not got a foot in there. Granitza trying to slide it through the defense. Marhetic appeared to have his man beat on the near side.
And now Marhetic goes for Gunitsa. Gunitsa back to Pato, but it's deflected to Carlson, to the goalkeeper. 4.5 to go in the half. 1-0. Toronto leads this first of the best-of-3 Soccer Bowl series. Sting with only 2 days rest. Toronto with 10. Sting has been playing hard out there, no question, but can they maintain it for the full 90 minutes? Very tough series against Vancouver. Gunitsa going for it. Oh, tries to go to Houston, knocked away. And we're going to have a foul against Granitza and a yellow card for Karl-Heinz Granitza.
And your guess there is as good as mine. I have no idea what the yellow card was there for. Perhaps referee felt that Granitza intentionally fouling. And now the referee coming over to the bench and going to award Coach Willie Roy a yellow card.
Coach Willie Roy has got a yellow card.
Of course, Howard, Chicago's history with this referee
has been disaster.
Not a great one, especially Coach Willie Roy.
Roy had put in at the beginning of the season a specific request that David Socha never referee a Sting game because things never work out. Ball driven toward the box. Noguera lets it sail harmlessly over the end line. 4 minutes to go in the first half. 1-0 Toronto. But the Sting team is angry. Now, they can use that anger to capitalize, or will their anger force a mistake that Toronto will take advantage of? Only time will tell. Going forward toward Granitza. Knocked away. Houston wins it for Glenn. And the crowd starts to shout as Rudy crosses the midfield stripe. Knocked away by an aggressive Eric Spalding. Cedinho to Glenn. To Cedinho. He has Hayden Knight coming. Not a dribbler. Upfield. Skips past David Byrne. Cordelia looks for an open man on the near side. It's Rojas. Randy Reagan on Rojas. Into the circle to Marhetic. Here comes Calvert. Back he comes to Miller with 3 minutes to go. There they go in the air. Glenn pushes it up. Symington tries to get it. Taken right back by Reagan. There's the cross again. Danger! Noguera the save, and the header by Nasalengwe. And Noguera drives it forward to Granitza. Tried to trap it, didn't work out. Ace gets it back. Cedinho going for it, but Wilson's there first. Intercepted by Marhetic to Cedinho. Wilson has to backpedal in a hurry as Cedinho moves it in to Marhetic. Back to Cedinho. Tries to cross to the top of the box, kicked away. Houston is there. slips and falls, and a foul called on Ace Nisalenge.
That was a very good call by the referee. Davey obviously slipped and fell on his own, but it came after he had been pushed by Nisalenge and was trying to regain his balance. The referee allowed for the original advantage.
Vinicius into the ball. He drives it, and is taken on the second half. That was not a typical Karl-Heinz Vinicius free kick.
Oh, instead of trying to bend it over the wall, he tried to hit that one with the outside of the foot, making the ball go from right to left. And if you hit that hard enough, perhaps that can beat the goalkeeper as well, but Hammond in perfect position.
Less than 2 minutes to go in the half. That goes forward, but it's intercepted by Randy Reagan. Here comes Toronto again. Benega with a little bit of room. A foul against the Sting has been waved off for the advantage rule. Calvert tries to go forward. We're getting an obstruction. The linesman, Ulrich Strom, on the near side, has called obstruction against Jerry Gray. Gray looks at Strom.
Good call there by the linesman. Moments earlier, Karl-Heinz Gunitsa received the yellow card. Maybe we'll be able to see exactly what it was for. And there you could see he kicking on the legs of Reagan very, very late, and the referee properly giving the yellow card.
1:16 on the scoreboard clock. That's what we have in the half. There is the cross. Glenn pops it over the bar. It'll give the Toronto Blizzard a corner kick. Ace Nisalenge trotting down to take it. Less than a minute to go in the half. The Blizzard scored on a freak goal. A ball hit easily into the box. Victor Nogueira, I won't say nonchalanted it. He just reached down, as he always does, to pick it up on the first hop. It squirted through his hands and right through his legs, and that's the only score of the game. There's the cross. Nogueira takes it away from Benega. He looks for Marhetic. But Gray took the space away. Everybody followed Gray, and so Toronto gets the ball back. Gray wins it with some hustle to Marhetic. 36 seconds left in the half. Gunitsa to Marhetic. Marhetic trying to get through, can't do it. Gunitsa gets it back, goes to Jerry Gray. Gray's crossing, looking for Marhetic. Ball is deflected, and we're going to have a handball call. It's going to go against Toronto. 20 seconds left. Gunitsa doesn't have to rush it. He's got time. 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Gunitsa's into the ball. He crossed it in the box, knocked away. Marhetic going forward with 7 seconds left. And the ball is over the end line. It's going to be a corner. Sting won't have time to put it in play. There's the cross. In the air they go. The header grabbed by Hammond, and there's the end of the first half.
And a fight down there between Hayden Knight and Derek Spalding. Each player kicking at each other and pushing at each other.
The first half has come to an end in a fireworks display. You talk about ill feeling in this game.
Look at what happened there in the final few seconds. The ball comes in. Watch Hayden Knight and Derek Spalding. Knight going up over the top of him and then landing on Spalding unintentionally there. And then the two of them going at it. There was a case there. You throw the first punch. No, you throw the first punch.
And that's the way the whole first half has gone. Coach Willie Roy is out. He has already received the yellow card. He is asking David Sosha exactly what's happening out there. And there it is, the end of a very wild first half with Toronto leading this thing by a score of 1-0. And we're going to be back after these words.
Time once again for the last two games versus the Dodgers has been in a slump, batting only .094 for the month of June. Sandberg has been a major leaguer for 13 years in addition to 4 years in the minors. During his time in the majors, he was a member of the 1984 and 89 divisional champion Chicago Cubs teams. More details tonight at 10 o'clock on the Sports Channel Report.